Okay, so when we multiplied, we had, this is my length, the 2x minus 3 was my length, and then the 3x plus 4 was my width. Okay, you guys got pretty good at this. You multiply this box, the 2x times the 3x, and that gave us 6x squared. Okay, I got the negative 3 times the 3x, and that gave us negative 9x. We have the 2x times the 4, and that gave me 8x. And we have the negative 3 times the positive 4, and that gave me the negative 12. I have that circle. This is the first time you guys have seen that circle because it's the two like terms. When I combine those like terms, I'm going to put them in the middle. So negative 9 and 8 are like terms. And usually when you're multiplying binomials, you're going to have these two match. You're going to have those diagonals match. Okay? And so negative 9 and positive 8, they are opposite signs. So I subtract and get negative 1x or negative x. Okay? So the area of my box is that diagonal. The 6x squared minus x minus 12. Okay, that's the area of the box. Now, with our areas, today when we're factoring, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the area, and I'm going to ask you for the length and the width. Okay, so we're going to find the length and width given the area. You guys, any of you watch Jeopardy? Yes. Good. I'm glad. Okay, in Jeopardy, the idea is that one of the clues is the answer. They give you the answer, and what Jeopardy contestants need to do is come up with what is bananas. They come up with the question. And that's why they say the what is portion of it. Okay, so I'm going to give you the area, and I'm asking for the length and width. So I'm kind of giving you the answer and asking you for the question. Okay, so let's see how we do that. So we're going to do D here. It is the area, so it goes in that diagonal. The x squared minus 14x plus 33. Now, again, where you place all the terms is very important. You have the x squared has to be, the squared variable is going to be in that top left-hand corner, always. In the circle, you should always have the x that's not squared, or that variable by itself that's not squared. Does that make sense? And in this last box is usually a constant. Sometimes it has another squared variable. Okay? But this is how you have to write it in. If you write it in a different order, it won't work. Okay? So then we see, I know the area of this box is x squared. What did I need to multiply to get x squared? A length and a width to get x squared. X times x, right? X times x gives me the x squared. Does that make sense? Okay. I don't know what goes here yet or here, but I can tell you I need the area of this is 33. What multiplied to 33 then? 3 times what? 11. So that's this length and this width. If you switch the 3 and the 11, it's not a big deal. Okay, it doesn't really matter where you place them at this point. Okay. So then you check. Okay, this is guessing and checking. You check to see if this is right. To check, you need to see if that middle term is actually correct. So we're looking at that middle term now. If this is 3 and this is x, then in this box we should have 3x. If this is x and this is 11, then in this box the area should be 11x. If we remember, these two terms should equal this. Okay. Right now it doesn't equal negative 14. Yeah? Yes, they both need to be negative. How to determine this is if you look at this sign of that last term, okay? If it's the same, or sorry, if it's a positive, it means it's the same signs for here and here. Okay, because I need to add them, and a negative times a negative will give me the positive 33 here. So if the negative 3 and negative 11, that does give me negative 14. So I did it right the first time. This one was an easier one. That means this 3 is negative, and this 11 is negative. We're going to check that to make sure this all works out. X times x is x squared. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. X times negative 11 is a negative 11x. And negative 3 times negative 11 is a positive 33. Okay, so it all checks out. Okay, so our answers are right here. This and this. So one of my factors is the length of x minus 3. My other factor is the length of x, or is the width of x minus 11. Those are the factors of the x squared minus 14x plus 33. Yes? Is it glitching still? Okay. Like hard to read glitchy? Okay. Yes. My surface likes to go out. Okay, next one. We have the 4x squared plus 7x plus 3. We're gonna do that same idea. Okay? We want to know what multiplies to 4x squared. So Zane, what multiplies to 4x squared? Very good. Okay, so 2x times 2x. And Rylan, what multiplies to 3? Very good. 3 times 1. Now again, right now it doesn't really matter where you place them, we're just checking it. Okay. Now we check our work. 3 times 2 is 6x. 2 times 1 is 2x. This is a plus sign. Okay, again, it's the same signs. Okay, and so these are both positive because the middle term is positive. Is 2 and 6 7? No, it didn't work. Okay, it's not always going to work the first time, and that's okay. It's called guessing and checking. So now you're going to erase. Okay, that didn't work. The first thing you're going to try is switching this 3 and this 1. Will that change anything in this case? No, right? Because these are both 2, so it's still going to be 2x, and this is going to be 6x, and it still doesn't equal 7. The next thing I'm going to do is see, is there something that I can multiply the 3 by? Anything else that multiplies the 3? Besides 1 and 3. There's nothing else that multiplies the 3. Very good. Okay, so 1 and 3 has to stay there. Is there something else that multiplies to 4, though? Yeah. 4 and 1. 4x and 1x. So let's try that. And then we multiply. 1 times 1 is 1x. 4x times 3 is 12x. They're both positive. Will that give me 7? Okay. Okay, good. This one didn't work, so let's switch. Let's put the 4x here and the 1x here. And try again. 1 times 4 is 4x. X times 3 is 3x. Now, they're both positive. Will that give me 7? Yay, I finally got it. Okay, so my factors again are the x. Oh, it should have a plus sign there because the 4 is positive. And this should have a plus sign here because this 3 is positive. So one of my factors is the x plus 1. The other factor is this 4x plus 3. Okay. Now in the answer, if I switch this order, it's the same thing. If I have 4x plus 3 first and then the x plus 1 second, it's the same thing. Any questions over that? Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, what multiplies to x squared? X and x. Jaden, what multiplies to 28? Times. Okay, then we're going to check our work. 7 times x is 7x. X times 4 is 4x. Now, since this is a negative sign, not a plus sign, they need to be opposite signs. Okay, because a negative times a positive is a negative. Yes. Very good. And why is the 4 going to be negative, not the 7? Good. So you need to check to where you're going to place it. To get a positive 3, the 4 needs to be negative. So I put the negative out here with 4. If the 7 was negative, the middle term would be a negative 3. So make sure you're putting the negative where it's supposed to be. And this should be positive. So my factors are the length and the width. So I have x plus 7 times x minus 4. Those are my factors. Any questions? Okay, some of us I see are getting this. Some of us just taking a little bit. Okay, so I want you guys to do G and H. G and H. Try those. Okay. Rayhan, what did you get for your answer?
I got 2a plus 7 times 3a minus 5.
Very good. Now again, if I switch that, if I have the 3a minus 5 first and the 2a plus 7 second, it's the same thing. But that should be our answer. Okay. So that gave me, again, the 6a squared plus 11a minus 35. 6a is 3a times 5a. Sorry, not times 5, times 2a. And then 35 is 5 and 7. 5 times 2 is 10a. 3 times 7 is 21a. They're going to be opposite signs because this is a negative. So one's going to be negative, one's going to be positive. I need the 10 to be negative to get a positive 11. If the 21 was negative, then the 11 would be negative. So this 5 is going to be negative, and this 7 is going to be positive. Okay, next one. Mono, what did you get for H? Very good. X minus 16 times x plus 2. Any questions over that? Okay, I's a struggle, right? Okay. It was more of a struggle for some of us than others. Okay. The issue with this is that the 12 and the 20 both can be divided by a lot of stuff. Okay, there's more than 2 pairs of factors, basically. So if you chose the wrong factor for 12, you were here for a long time. Okay, what is the correct factor for 12 that I should use? Not 6 and 2. Yeah? 4y and 3y. Now, I know that you would not know that until you tried it, right? And you kept trying it and it didn't work. Okay? So sometimes factoring is going to take you a while because there's so many options, so many choices that you could walk your way through. Sometimes you're going to get it done right on the very first try because you just guessed well. Okay? The more you factor, the quicker it'll be for you guys to go through this in your head. Okay? So right now it's going to take you a long time, but the more you do it, the easier it will become. Okay? So then if this is 12y squared, this is positive y, and this is negative 20. So then what would multiply to 20? 5 times 4? Yep. Well, let's see. I don't do the signs until the end, so let's check. 5 times 3 is 15y, and 4 times 4 is 16y. Again, they're going to be opposite signs because this is a negative. So this one and this one are going to be opposite signs because I need a negative times a positive to get that negative 20. So which one needs to be negative to get a positive y? The 15, the 16 is going to be positive. To get a negative 15 here, I need this 5 to be negative. To get a positive 16 here, I need that 4 to be positive. Okay. Okay, so then I get my factors. Again, they're right here. 3y plus 4. And right here, the 4y minus 5. Okay, how are we doing? Doing good? Okay, next one. Okay, on the back. Okay, so what multiplies to 9b squared? 3b times 3b. And what multiplies to 49? 7 times 7. Then I multiply the 7 times the 3b and get 21b. And then the 7b times this, sorry, the 3b times the 7, which gives me 21b. This is a plus sign. That means these are the same sign. So 21 plus 21 gives me 42, but I want a negative 42, so they both need to be negative. That means this 7 is negative and this 7 is negative. Okay, when I write this out, it should be 3b minus 7 times 3b minus 7. Very good. Since they match exactly, you want to write it like this. 3b minus 7 squared. This is how you would see it on a test, a multiple choice test. We'll write it like that. Yes?
So couldn't you just change the 3 to negative 7 too? Would that work?
Yes, technically that would work, but you would never see that. Okay, it just doesn't happen. It's in math we write things a certain way So it's like a different language. So yeah, I'd be correct, but they kind of like tilt their head and like, oh, you don't get math. Okay. Someone else asked me that same question. So very interesting. Okay, K is a little different because it has two variables. It has a Y and an X. Don't get confused by it though. Okay, it's the same deal. We have the 4x squared, the negative 20xy, and the 25y squared. Okay, class, what multiplies to 4? Okay, 2x and 2x. Then we also have to do the 25y squared. So it multiplies to 25y squared. 5y and 5y. Okay, so just when they have that extra variable, you just need to add the variable to the second term. And then you multiply. 5 times 2 is 10xy. 2x times 5y is 10xy. Since this is a positive, these both need to have the same sign. The middle term's negative, so they both need to be negative. That makes the 5 negative and the 5 negative. So my factors, since they match exactly, can be written as 2x minus 5y squared. Any questions over that? Now, L is slightly different. Okay, we want to put a star on it. Why is it different? All right, there's only 2 terms. What am I missing? Yeah? The middle. I'm missing that circle, right? So what should go in that circle? Yeah? 0. In that circle, I should have 0 b's. The middle term always has the variable that's not squared. So in this case, it's a b. This is a difference of squares. That means that middle term cancels out, becomes 0. So then we factor what multiplies to 9b squared is 3b and 3b. What multiplies to 49? 7 times 7. Good. So when we multiply 7 times 3 is 21b, and 3b times 7 is 21b. This is a negative, so these are opposite signs. Okay. Since they're going to give me 0, it doesn't matter which one's negative and which one's positive here. You can put them either place. Negative 21 and positive 21 gives me 0 in the middle. So this 7 is negative here, and this 7 is positive here. So my factors are 3b minus 7, and then 3b plus 7. Can I write this one like I did this one? Right? They're not exactly the same, so I can't use the squared notation. So make sure you write it out like this. Any questions? Okay, I want you guys to do M and N right now. Okay, who thinks they got M correct? Okay, yep, what'd you get? Okay, let's see if it will let me right here. 2x, nope. Okay, but that is correct. 2x minus 1 parentheses squared. Okay, it's just disappearing on me. That's okay. Now, did anyone get N? Right, nobody could figure out N. We tried lots of different arrangements and nothing got it. Okay, what is the word we use in math to describe something that doesn't have factors other than 1 in itself. Yes. No. Okay, so this is we're not, an equation, we call it, say, no solution. This is not an equation. Okay, this is an expression. Undefined, again, has to do with operation. There's a word for numbers, prime. Okay, so this is prime because it has no factors. Okay, so write down prime. There we go. Because nothing multiplies to the 9x or 9c squared minus 5c plus 2. And this is 2x minus 1, the whole thing squared. Okay, any questions over that? Okay, we're going to go down here. In our homework, it's going to talk about the area of a rectangle is 5x squared plus 5, or x squared plus 5x plus 6. What is the length and the width of the rectangle? All that's trying to ask you is to factor it. So you're going to draw your box. I want to see a lot of boxes on your homework. Draw your boxes. This is like your homework, yes. So they gave you the area of the rectangle. They want you to find the length and the width. So find the length and the width.